Whether you are a beginner or advanced Russian language learner, you've come across these phrases. У меня есть машина. У тебя есть велосипед? У нее есть сестра. The proper translation for them should start with I have, do you have, she has. But there is no я, ты, она in such sentences. Instead of them, we use the genitive case forms у меня, у тебя, у нее. But why? Why Russians say like this? You see, to answer that question, we have to dive into the Russian mentality and the philosophy in general. So here comes the philosophical question. How many things do you actually have once you come to this world? Russians would answer, you have nothing. Somebody brought you into this world, gave you food, clothes, things to use. And all these things and people existed or still exist around you. You don't own them, but they're there for you. That is why in everyday Russian we prefer to say у меня есть, since the literal translation of this phrase is something or somebody exists next to me. Of course, you may use another construction and say that something or somebody is yours. Это моя мама. Это мой папа. But if you want to say that you have something, you just need to change a bit your life perspective and say that there are things and people around you. У нее есть серьги. У меня есть телефон. У него есть часы. I suppose English-speaking people could consider such mindset as too soft, unconfident, and maybe even inert, since people who believe they don't have anything in their lives can't achieve big goals. And I'm not going to argue about that, but I'm going to show you another perspective on this Russian character side. Look closer at your native or maybe second language, English. Let's take American English, for instance. You say that you have a lot of things, right? You have friends, you have a house maybe, you have a job, you have money, you have responsibilities which are basically endless. Since you have all that, you can't afford yourself to lose it. And if you do, what happens? You say you're desperate, you say you're broken, since the part of you has gone. Oh no, don't think that Russians don't get that pain or desperation, they do. But they tend to accept all this as blows of fate, but not the personal failure. As French people say, c'est la vie, такова жизнь, that is life. You have and lose things and unfortunately people, but it's fate, and Russians accept all this often without blaming themselves. They normally blame somebody or something else. Whether it's good or bad, you decide, but that's just how our survival mechanism works. So remember, when you're going to say you have something, change this I or you to у меня, у тебя, etc. And use the verb есть only if it's necessary to emphasize the existence of an object or a person in your life. У меня есть дом. У меня есть собака. With this есть part, you're actually making a point that this have is the opposite of don't have. But if you want to use this construction just to say the feature or the amount of what you have, drop this есть part. У меня большой дом. Everyone knows you have a house, but you want to say it's big, so don't use есть. У меня 3 собаки. It's kind of obvious you have a dog, but you want to tell you have 3 of them, so drop есть. To be honest, we tend to drop есть in modern Russian, but only in present tense, of course. So don't be surprised if you hear у меня дом, у меня собака. It's absolutely fine to say like this. Remember also that if a concept doesn't belong to physical universe, that is, a word means something you can't actually touch, don't use есть. У меня завтра встреча. У него сегодня день рождения. Хьюстон, у нас проблема. Finally, describing the character or appearance of a person, Russians also normally don't use есть. У него большое эго. I don't want to be someone with a big ego, but I believe this lesson was useful for you. Practice what you've learned today in the comments. Stay healthy and tuned. Bye!